It all begins one morning. Felipe, the best policeman in Los Angeles, is called to a case about several disappearances that have occurred in recent months in Mexico City. Felipe looked at the time. It was only an hour before the plane landed at his destination. Felipe looked around the office where he would return to his role as investigation and police officer. Several people looked at him and murmured things about him until a guy approached him without any qualms.
Welcome, officer. My name is Leonardo and I am your partner for this case.
Do you have information of the case?
Yes, sir. In your office there is IT documentation you need for the case. I don't think Leif forgot anything.
Felipe was really looking at the missing persons reports, but there was something he had noticed, which his partner asked about because of the pause he had.
Officer, did you find anything?
Yes, it's a strange coincidence, but some people look familiar.
Who?
This there that I have read, I feel like I know from the somewhere.
And silence settled in, and Felipe looked at the other files. In it he could realize a terrible truth.
Did you find anything?
Yes, all the missing people are my former high school classmates.
Felipe was interrogating his only companion, who had not been kidnapped, because he strongly suspected that she had committed the disappearance of the others.
When was the last time you saw them?
It rained a year ago. From then on I never saw them again.
The words so sincere that Felipe felt he had no more people to question, and that frustrated him. But Carla spoke again.
You know, it was wedding. I remember we were invited. We were arrived at the house. There was a guest list and I counted 20 people.
What does that have to the hitch it?
Our room was for 21 people, Felipe. Somebody today was not invited. I know who she is.
Here?
It's Suri.
Felipe felt that the case were slowly making sense, and the pieces were coming together.
Felipe looked at the girl who was there, tied up and blindfolded. His eyes passed with the other person, revealing her identity. It was Suri. She had been responsible for everything.
We are the author.
They are fine. I just wanted everyone to be around it, Felipe.
Why?
Well, you were the only one who didn't come to the party. So, some of our ex-partners playing with this. So we could let you have here. And it worked.
What? None of them are dead?
Of course not.
So, this was never real.
No, never.
Felipe sighed in relief and Carla stood up revealing that she was never yet knew. Several people came out of various parts of the room, and Felipe looked at him, both annoyed and happy.
Sure guys are really good at planning this.
We know. After all, you imagined artist, Felipe.
What?
Felipe, don't you remember that we are a figment of your imagination?
Felipe woke up, scared, looking around him. It was night, and he noticed that he was in his own room. And at that moment, he realized that it had all been a dream, since that was what his life consisted of. Dreaming big about his companions would have did in that earthquake.